Congratulations! You are at the right place at the right time to start your day with a lightning bolt of energy. If you're here, it's because morning talk shows and even most podcasts have you down in the dumps, depleted and yearning for more. I want more money. I want more time. I want more magic. I want to be told what to do. I want to find what works. I want to scale my business. I want to be provided with actionable inspiration. And if more is what you want, then get ready for the Unblinded Huddle, which is the #1 way to start your day with a dose of integrity-based human influence. With your hosts, Sean Callaghy, Fernando Valencia, Adam Gugino, Jared Yellen, and the entire Unblinded movement.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Sean Callaghy here. Happy Ecosystem Merger Monday. Lots of challenges in the world, lots of acceleration of things that we would prefer not be accelerating, but we're here to accelerate the things that we can control. Fernando, what's present for you? And good morning, sir.
Good morning, Sean. What's present for me is the power in mastering distinctions within the formula, and not only viewing, what we do here in the mornings as, motivation, inspiration, and excitement, truly committing to viewing everything that happens here from your coaching to the raw place through the prism of the formula and how everyone here listening our live ecosystem can implement today. And I'm excited to jump off Ecosystem Merger Mastery Monday with Dr. Joan Greco, who is a dear friend of Sean's, fellow member of the Platinum Tony Robbins ecosystem. She is a dentist oral surgeon by trade in the lovely islands of Hawaii. She has a magical story of what it took for her to be there. It is a very low percentage of women who dominate in this space, let alone are at the top of the space where Joan is. Not only that, I can sit here and talk about her character for years. She is a loving mother. She is a business owner and a proud leader of her team. And I'm just super excited to have her here and share her wisdom with all of us. Sean, anything you'd like to add about Dr. Joan Greco?
Yeah, Dr. Joan, are you live with us yet?
She is almost there, Mr. Callaghy. She's just talk for a little bit. And
yeah, all good, all good. So yeah, for Dr. Joan, yeah, is that Dr. Joan Greco?
This is me. How are you this morning?
Amazing. Welcome from Hawaii. And what time is it for you right there, right now?
It's about 2:30 in the morning.
Oof. I am incredibly grateful for your presence, Joan. It is truly a gift. And in addition to being a platinum partner, Joan is a lion in the Tony Robbins organization, which is an invited-only grouping that you have to have achieved a certain level of professional success and adhere to a certain personal standard to be invited and accepted. And Joan, you exemplify that group of people, and in fact, have even begun to exert leadership at this juncture in that grouping. So how are you doing, Joan? Like, what's present for you this morning?
What's present for me? It's dark outside. You may hear some roosters crowing in a few minutes, but life is amazing. I think that whatever's going on right now is a tremendous opportunity if we all start to think outside the box. One of the reasons I wanted to get the group of lions together is because it's a great group of minds, just like Unblinded is an incredible group of minds, to be able to get together and see what the new norm is going to be and what we can do in the new norm.
Yeah. And just thank you for that, Joan, and your commitment to that and all the organizations you're a part of. You connect with brilliant minds in so many different directions and ways. It's inspiring. And what's also inspiring is whenever it seems like just, by happenstance and coincidentally, and then maybe not over time, we've sat next to one another in a number of different events in the Tony Robbins world. And for the first time I sat next to you, what jumped out about you was just your absolute level of giving. Like, you were just there to give. Like, there was no element of you being in your own significance. There was no part of you that was about taking. It was about, and certainly you're up for receiving, you have abundance, you've created beautiful things in the world, but your level of contribution and service to the people like literally sitting next to you and sharing information and helping people make sure their appropriate seating was preserved. Like these micro distinctions of giving just to me represent who you are, and a big part, I'm sure, of how you got to where you are.
Well, thank you very much. I'm all about service, and everything comes from love. And I've always believed that if you do the right thing and you're good to people, that life will be good to you in return. And I mean, there's a lot of work that needs to be done, but coming from a place of love is always going to get you what you want.
Yeah. And I'll drop this in. Joan's super fun. You know, we've been in Idaho and other places around the country and world in different environments. And Joan is always in social settings in the same kind, giving, loving, connecting, like just super amount of fun and going from grouping to grouping of people, spreading incredible energy. So Joan, thank you again so much for being here. And I guess my opening question is, yeah, you're welcome. And my opening question is, how'd you do it? Like, how'd you build what you built?
How did I build what I built? I built it because I love people. I am here for my community. And from the day I got here, my motto is I want the community to be better with me than without me. And then when I leave, I want it to be better than how I found it. So always being available. I think that's one of the most important things. And then with my staff, I call it the 3 Fs, being friendly, fair, but firm. I built an incredible team around me. I've got some people that are with me for, 26 years, even more than that, close to 30 years. And they are loyal, I think because I'm good to them. And they're on the same mission that I'm on, and that is to give and do and serve.
And so you said, Jane said friendly, firm, and I missed the 3rd F.
Friendly, firm, but fair.
Oh, fair. Friendly, firm, and fair. Thank you. Amazing. Now, I mean, just getting, diving a little bit more deeply. So that's your overall philosophy. Unbelievable. On a process mastery level, like the types of things you did, like where'd you start and how'd you scale and actually build your business?
You want to know from the time I started my business or how I got into what I'm doing? I can give you a little overview of that. I was originally supposed to go to medical school, but I grew up in an Italian family, East Coast, and women were supposed to not be the ones that outshone the men. So I was told that I was going to nursing school, and I said I wanted to be a doctor, and they said, no, you can marry a doctor. I said, but I want to be a doctor. And so I started out in nursing school and then ended up at Wharton School of Finance. I graduated from there and got my best job offer in San Antonio, Texas. And after working there a year and a half, I uncovered, I don't know if you remember the savings and loan debacle, but I uncovered some stuff within it was a savings and loan mortgage company. I uncovered some stuff and I went to the senior vice president and I said, this is what I found. Well, the next day I found myself in a typing pool, for anyone who remembers what a typing pool is. And I was there for 2 weeks when I went into the executive vice president and said, listen, my parents did not pay for me to go to Wharton to sit in a typing pool. So anyway, I realized that the dog-eat-dog world of business was not where I belonged. So I went back to school, and again, being an Italian girl, I was talked into going into dentistry rather than medicine. And my father and brother are both MDs, very successful. And they said, when you have kids, put them in the back room. You're better off in dentistry. Well, I'd gotten there after about 6 weeks. I realized I made a huge mistake. And I should have gone to the medical school route. And anyway, I found oral surgery, which is exactly what I wanted to do. And it straddles medicine and dentistry. And I do facial plastic surgery. I got here, well, first of all, getting into an oral surgery program, there are less than 400 practicing female oral surgeons and over 6,500 oral surgeons today, practicing oral surgeons. So I'm in the minority.
Dramatic minority. And so what I'm hearing, from you, Joan, up front is that you faced tremendous obstacles and challenges. For those that don't know, Wharton School of Business at the University of Pennsylvania is arguably the #1 business school in the country, always in the top 5 for sure, top 3. So that's an incredible accomplishment in and of itself. And then what I'm curious about in service of people on the line this morning, Joan, is what did you do? What did you do to build and scale your medical practice? Like looking at that as a business. And I know that you were kind to patients, friendly, firm, and fair. How did you get your messaging out there? Was it just that you were so fantastic with your patients that they referred others? Clearly, I think you do a lot of integration with ecosystems and meet new and incredible people. So what was the methodology that you used to scale and become successful? If you had to deliver that in a 30-second soundbite, what was it besides the philosophy?
Educating my referring doctors, educating my patient base. Everything is about education because if they don't understand what they're doing, then they're either not going to refer it or patients won't do it. It's measuring, it's monitoring and measuring what's happening within the practice. So we do a lot, we do scorecards, we do dashboards, which I think is huge. Block scheduling is huge in my office because there are certain things that are good, that I'm really good at doing at certain hours of the day. So block scheduling, and then trying to be in front of the wave, thinking about what's next, what more can I offer? So long before people were doing emails or texts, I'd say probably about 10 years ago, I started emailing my patients every night to make sure that they were okay. So word of mouth, I don't do advertising. It's all word of mouth and educating.
Yeah, I would say word of mouth, and if you would, ecosystem merging, because you built up such a, it sounds like, beautiful referral base of physicians, and you did that by the creation of relationships. As you said, you educated them. I'm sure they like you, see massive value and trust in you. And that's been an extraordinary part of the practice, as well as turning that patient base into people you add massive value to, and have turned them into also a phenomenal ecosystem of referral partners. Fair statement?
Fair statement, yes.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so with all this happening, what are your biggest challenges at this point? As you look to scale and grow and move into, further developing whatever's on your heart in the world, like what challenges do you find the largest at this point?
The largest challenge is to scale because there's only one me. And even though I am in the 0.2 top % producing oral surgeons in the country, it's really difficult to find someone to come out here to the island of Hawaii, even though it's a very romantic thought, and try to teach someone to work the way that I do from the heart. How do you scale that? It's almost impossible. So I'm looking to go to that next step. How do I take what's inside my mind? I mean, there's millions and millions of dollars worth of information on how to run an office and to be able to scale that and take it nationwide. So I can scale what I've got here. I can bring in 2 more oral surgeons. I'm opening a general dental practice, bringing in some specialists, which will make the community better than how I found it. But it's hard to scale in a situation where you are an operator most of the time, and I'm a true operator.
Amazing. So for all those you out there in the community, and by the way, if this is your first day on the Unblinded Huddle, you're like, what are we doing here? So we talk to incredibly successful people in a quick run through in the huddle. We move that into the Unblinded Real Raw Sales role play, where we have an extended hour with Joan, which, by the way, just happens to be coming up immediately after the huddle today, 9 a.m. Eastern time, 3 a.m. Hawaii time. So thank you, Joan. You're incredible. And we've just begun this process, and the feedback has been tremendous, and we're innovating every day with huge innovations coming up for next week, which we'll talk more about later today and tomorrow, probably tomorrow more so. And what I want to, what's present for me is Joan is our 4th guest. 3 of the 4 guests have all said it's their number 1 challenge is replacing themselves and scaling. The 4th guest didn't say that, but it's clearly a part of the challenge because that person isn't scaling either. So I'd say a 4 out of 4 for successful people. And this is why in Unblinded, we talk about more money in less time with more magic. It's that the time factor leads into the magic factor. And every guest thus far has had an opportunity or challenge in the space of time and scaling. So I wasn't expecting that. So that's a remarkable spot. And if I'm honest with myself, that's part of the challenges I've faced over time. So as we focus the huddles moving forward, our work together, we're going to dig into scaling and replacing ourselves and what to deal with that. So Joan, thank you for that candor and vulnerability.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So now, as we move into it, if you were to talk about Unblinded, because you said some kind things about it, what are you most excited about the Unblinded movement?
Oh my God. I'm super excited about the Unblinded movement. I got into it probably late October. A friend of mine, David Dean, we were talking one day, he said, hey, I think you might be interested in this. And I know you know David well.
Yeah, I love David.
I started listening, and for me, it was so super exciting because, as you know, in the Tony world, or, they talk about 2 mm shifts. Well, being a facial plastic surgeon, that 1 or 2 millimeter shift can make the difference between someone looking good and someone looking great. So that's what I saw in Unblinded. Even on those first calls when there were only 5, 10, 15 people, I saw your magic. I saw your greatness and what you wanted to teach. And I thought, man, if I can get this into medicine and dentistry, and I can get people to go from what their diagnosis is to yes, that would be so incredible. So as I sat on it, I kept talking to my team members. I wanted to get them involved. I tried to get my my family members involved, and my daughter's doing it on the mastery program. And that was on her own volition. She wanted to do herself. She wanted to pay for it herself.
Wow.
She dealt with it with Fernando, which impressed me. But I got my staff into the mastery program, and it's amazing to see what that 2 millimeter shift has done in my practice. My practice was already a successful practice, but being able to talk to patients and making that little shift in what it is I'm talking about, or, thanks to you, I'm doing videos that go to my patients and to my doctors, my referring doctors, so that nothing gets lost in the shuffle and the patient doesn't forget about what we talked about. Doctor knows exactly what we talked about, has made a huge difference. And again, I was successful where I was, but I'm always looking for the next best thing. And then that next best thing to be able to share with other people. Yeah, Unblinded has done huge things for me and for my practice.
Thank you, Joan. And it is deep in my heart when somebody who has the wisdom and success that you do. I mean, first of all, it touches my heart anytime anybody says something nice. Coming through such a trained and developed prism as yours, and all the content delivery and masterful people that you encounter, to have those words come from you, I am incredibly grateful. Thank you. And so if you had one actionable, thank you. And if you have one actionable thing, final question, one actionable for people listening to this line, what would the one action step be that you recommend to them?
Oh, I know it costs some money, but I'd say the mastery program. It has made it, my daughter who started the program was just going out to look for a job in New York City. And she ended up landing a job at PBS and at Gloria Steinem's from cold calls. And she would not have done that if she hadn't gone through mastery.
Unbelievable. I didn't know that. I had heard something related to that, but I didn't know that specifically. With everybody, we don't stage these calls. I did not talk to Joan about these questions or answers. Joan, thank you. 9 a.m., we're coming up with Joan on the Real Raw sales role play for Unblinded. Coming up in a minute. Joan, thank you so much for getting up this early, and I'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Thank you for having me.
All right, thanks, Joan. Okay, yeah. So on this Ecosystem Merger Monday, as we ask this question, so what does that mean for you? So what does that mean for you? Tuned in, you listen to Joan, thank you. But what does it mean for you? What's the takeaway, the actionable item for you in this day? Well, a couple quick thoughts on this Ecosystem Merger Monday. One, what is present for me is the power of ecosystem. You just heard Joan share and the idea of training referral physicians and her patient base. Well, folks, all that is ecosystems. And her ability to go from hello to yes with those ecosystems is why she's enjoyed an insane level of success, can travel the world and make decisions to be in whatever organization she wants with whomever she wants. What is also present for me, and I had a big smile on my face when I got the message in the WhatsApp, is that in the Lions organization, which again is tremendously successful people in the world, and part of Tony Robbins' incredible ecosystem. And I get a message that Joan Greco is planning a call to talk about businesses and coronavirus. And I smiled to myself, knowing, of course, that Joan's adding massive value, as she always does. And what was present for me was like, this is an ecosystem. Joan's asserting leadership within what is a subgroup of one of the most powerful ecosystems in the world, a subgroup, the leadership of Platinum Partnership Alliance. And here's Joan Greco taking a massive leadership position and rolling out an outstanding program. And I was on the first call. She did such a fantastic job, which of course added value. But again, it's also conveying her unique identity to everybody in the group. And it's expanding her ecosystem. And it's organizing an incredible ecosystem called the Lions in her leadership. So I was so impressed, and so the formula very much alive, and it worked. Final takeaway for today, where is it for you? So what ecosystems are you accelerating and merging with today? It is Ecosystem Merger Monday. Where we are, if you watch the innovations occurring in the huddles, we're finding ways to do 10 things at once inside of these huddles. And here's the next massive innovation, 2 pieces coming up. One, we're gonna have 2 guests on a day. In the real raws, we're gonna have 2 people selling to one another, influencing one another, not only in a HelloDS sale of a product or service, but also in a HelloDS ecosystem merger. And what does all that mean? It means this very simply. We're expanding content and turning Unblinded into a channel, a network, programming, multiple networks. Think ESPN. That's where we're headed. This isn't what you would traditionally call a personal development grouping. Think ESPN. That's what this is becoming. We're becoming a network and series of shows and challenges of people and things. You are not expected and asked to watch everything. That would be crazy and a disservice to you. In the same way, we wouldn't be recommending that you watch some news channel or even financial channel all day long. That would be crazy. What we do recommend is in your utilization of this program is that you enter mastery. You're in the programs we have. We have a new program launching today, which is a more an isolated segment of mastery, which Jared will talk about in a second. And also that the real raws, you don't watch every single one, because every day there's one, plus the huddles. That's a lot of time. You watch some, you watch the highlights, which we're going to condense each week. We're going to tell you which ones are outstanding. And when you need a shot and infusion of learning for how you're going to go in your ecosystems that day, you tune in. So we are not telling you to watch every huddle and every ecosystem merger meeting. We're not, real raw, no. But we would say every huddle and some of the real raws, 1 to 2 per week for sure. Listen in the huddle for who you feel most connected to and can learn from. Jump on. And in addition, we're beginning our influence offs at night. So one night a week, we're going to take the 10 people that were on the guests in the huddles and the real raws, and we're going to begin an annual influence off. So at the end of the year, we're going to have our influencer of the year, but not influence in terms of like how many followers they have on social media, a true influencer and leader in going from ecosystem merging HelloDS as well as service HelloDS, the product and service HelloDS. That's where we're beginning. So we could truly crown that person, and we'll all be participating in that expansion. So that said, Jared, what is present for you, brother?
What is present for me is the chat is off the hook right now. Appreciate that. Fernando, I know there's some people you want to give some love to, some shout outs to. So why don't you give them some shout outs, then I'll wrap it up with some really exciting things that are going down here at Unblinded.
Yeah, let's do it, Jared. So, this call was incredible. Joan is a personification of what love looks like. And just one cliff note, what's became present for me in her share is that word of mouth actually equals ecosystem merging. Just like when we ask people, how do you go from hello to yes? Most tend to not have a formula. How do you create word of mouth? Most people don't. Now we do. The how is ecosystem merging. So a big shout out to Monica, Jim Dickinson, Annie Ojeda from Mexico. We have Paul Youngquist, Barry Asman. And, shout out to some, amazing people sharing some valuable words. Charlie, best month this year in sales. The formula works. It's that simple, step by step. We have Liba saying Dr. Joan has level 5 listening in her actions and takes action steps in anticipation on what she might need. And then Martha Aguila, who happens to be my girlfriend, love you. This new huddle system is sick. I love it. Best 30 minutes someone can have in their daily morning routines. And then we have a few people that'd like to share. Jared, would you like to go first, or would you like us to call them up?
Let's let Jay Levine give us a shout out. So Jay Levine, what are you present to in 30 seconds or less? What are you present to, Jay Levine?
Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Happy Mastery Ecosystem Merger Monday. So I just had to quickly acknowledge Dr. Joan. Dr. Joan is one of the people that I met at the immersion, and she is one of the kindest, nicest people I've met, but that's not the reason why I like her so much. She was one of the early adopters that was on the old style of the huddle where we'd get on maybe 10 minutes early. And 10 minutes early for Dr. Joan is like, I don't know, midnight in Hawaii. So her dedication to this, incredible. But what landed most for me today is, and Sean, you said it right after I thought it, so you read my mind, which is normal, scaling. And what Unblinded does is it allows you to duplicate yourself, because I could never put language to what it was that I was or what we were doing. And now we have a formula and language behind it that's going to help not only myself scale, but my team scale and everybody in this movement. So thank you.
Jay Levine, you're on fire, brother. Couldn't be more proud of you. And so fire doesn't sound like hype. Jay is in the formula, applying it and developing levels of mastery. And I've taught this for a long time. And Fernando, Adam, Jared, Jay, Dr. Joan Greco, and others have lived the acceleration and distinctions. Fantastic job. You inspire me and fire me up to dig even deeper every day myself. So thank you, Jay.
Awesome. So we got some announcements on this beautiful Monday morning, because this is about execution and action. Dr. Joan Greco is an example of that. She does not have what she has because she thought about it or talked about it. She has what she has because she made it happen. She took action upon that. So 3 big announcements. I'm posting this in the chat on Zoom. It's also posted on Facebook Live. So in about 4 minutes, it will be 3 a.m. in Hawaii, and Dr. Joan Greco is stepping into a real raw sales role play with Sean. Register. The link is in the chat. You don't want to miss this one. It's going to be absolutely off the charts. Amazing. We will send out the replay after the fact as well. So register. Did you hear about our 30 Days to Influence Mastery program? It's only 15 to 30 minutes each day for 30 days to begin the process to mastery. Check it out. It's www.yourinfluencemastery.com. And then final announcement, we have Michael Smikin coming today at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 12 p.m. Pacific Time for a real raw sales role play. Register. This is going to be off the charts to see Michael selling Sean and then having Sean role reverse that one. This is going to be a real fun one, a real great opportunity for each of you to see distinctions, see things that you don't see within your own sales process. Thank you as always for being present. Sean, back to you for some final.
Yeah, amazing. And with the 30-day program, everybody that's in mastery, that program is our additional value add gift to you. I wouldn't call it a gift, you've invested, but it's a massive value add bonus that we feel very proud to give you. I challenge you to finish it in 10 days. Take that 30-day program and finish that sucker in 10 days and watch the acceleration occur in combination with mastery. You're doing a fantastic job. Couldn't be more proud of you. It's Ecosystem Merger Monday. Get better today, but don't get better just by listening, taking massive action. Fernando, what is present for me is the inspiration of your, Adam, and Jared's acceleration and your mastery. I couldn't be more proud. And Fernando, I hear your name non-stop for what you've accomplished and done. You inspire me. Fantastic job. All of you tuning in each day inspire me. Thank you. And we will see you on the Real Raws. And if not, certainly in the huddle tomorrow. Have an amazing day. Thanks.
So now is the time you take action. What is the one thing you will do today that will help you make more money in less time and with more magic? All you need to do is take one action right now and then head over to our private Facebook community at www.unblindedmovement.com to share your big win for the day. If you share today's win and any questions you may have for us, along with a 5-star review, so we can reach more like-minded people like yourselves, your questions will be answered and maybe even your win will be live on the podcast. And if you have not already subscribed, please visit www.unblindedhuddle.com to be part of our live studio audience for each morning huddle so that we can help you see what you don't see about the fun, excitement, and magic of exponentially growing your sales.